had a good day today. Skated this morning, so his first real hard day back on the ice. So encouraged that he can probably join us soon.
Lindy, in practice, you had obviously Dylan on the wing next to McLeod. Is that an opportunity just to let him maybe think a little less, free him of some of those defensive responsibilities, and let him just go play?
Yeah, I think sometimes a player gets so consumed with, lack of production and then maybe gets locked into, as your centerman, trying to play even better defensively and trying to free him up to get him a few more opportunities. And you get him with a left-handed centerman that can get him the puck and possibly use his speed. So I think, both we're trying to get both him and Jack a little bit of a different look and see if it works and get us a little bit more offense and get both those guys going.
What intrigues you about putting Jack with Peyton and Jason?
I think Peyton has played really hard. He's been good on the face-off circle, so I think that automatically we'll have the puck a little bit more. I think Zucks has been really good at finding people and creating plays, and I think Jack needs to get the puck on his stick more. So we're in that search to try to get even better.
You have cut down penalties. You're not at the top as far as being short-handed anymore, but do you have to cut down maybe on some of the types of penalties you're taking right now?
I would say, the answer is probably yes. Along with when you take them, even, road penalties early or penalties in your own building when you take the initial penalties in your own building. Because I think it takes some of our, a guy like Thompson and JJ don't play, and now all of a sudden you can go through 7-8 minutes if you take an early penalty and they've only been on the ice maybe once or twice. So we've talked a lot about the type of penalties we want to stay away from, and we're going to continue to work on that.
Lindy, Dylan was asked about playing with a guy like Ryan McLeod, and the fact that he's so fast. I know you touched on it a little bit there, but what do you think that he can bring to that line and helping Dylan maybe get back to the player that he?
Well, he can. He's got real good speed. He can open up ice for him. We're looking at a few more ways to get the puck in Dylan's hands where he can shoot it. And sometimes just getting out of the middle can help you out. There's no guarantee, but right now where we're at and where he's at, it's worth trying.
You guys had a very hard practice the other day after that loss.
Who said that?
My eyes. Just wondering, what message did you want to send to the group after the way that game went, and why, and the approach to that practice in particular?
No, I just think you get an opportunity with the time we had to just do some overspeed training. Like we went through that practice real quick. It wasn't long, but it was. It had a couple highly competitive drills, and then it had a lot of speed drills in it. And our numbers proved that it was the speed was way up, the intensity was way up. I asked a couple players about it. They actually thought they said they loved the practice. You can't do that if you're playing a lot of games. So we knew we had basically 2 days coming, the rest of that day and another day off. And sometimes just to flush it out to get, I even thought the energy was good. It was hard, but it was good.
Would you expect that to be kind of a temporary thing, or are you open to it?
Well, if he scores 4 off the wing, it'd be a permanent thing. Yeah. Even if he scores a couple. I think that, again, you can't. You look at when you track back to your own end. That means that there will be times he still will be in the middle. You have two centermen on the same line, so it's a little bit universal. When you have draws on the right side, there's a good chance that Dylan will take those draws, so he's in the middle again. So there'll be a period of time that some of his defensive responsibilities will be on McLeod and some will be on him. So it's a little bit interchangeable. It's a little bit like Tuck and Thompson are interchangeable. You'll see him playing down low a lot too. And it's part of kind of the product of the way the game is right now.
What?
I think you mentioned in the Dallas game, Tage was being really vocal on the bench, telling guys to stay on their toes. What have you learned about him in that capacity and a member of the leadership group?
Well, I think the first thing is he's doing it on the ice. He's he's playing with a lot of passion. He's working extremely hard. His tracking, his work ethic has been great. And I think when you're back on the bench and you hear a guy that is being a great example on the ice, it's really good for our club. I thought at the start of the year the opportunities he had that he missed, and then some of the goals he scored, some of the what I call dirty goals around the front of the net, to get him on the board, and for him to just stay with it and now see where he's at. It's a good example of how we need to play.
It was 3 years ago, but I know you're well aware. Dylan played the wing for Team Canada at the World Championships and led them in goal scoring. Do you think that?
Well aware, yes.
I know you are. I mean, is that part of your thinking, knowing that he's been successful doing it?
Yeah, I can even share that. Playing with Quinn being a right-handed center, I don't think a lot of pucks have gone that way. That a lot of pucks have gone the other way. So it obviously, he's played there and he's played well and he scored a lot of goals over there. So it'd be, I don't think it's a gamble. I think he's been comfortable playing over there, and if it frees him up a little bit, then it's better for us.
What does JJ's play at the end of Saturday's game maybe illustrate about his growth as a player?
His play at the end of the game.
He made a play on, I guess it was Kane at the end of a game, a defensive
I wish you
play.
would ask me that like 2 days ago.
Oh. We'll circle back in a couple days.
Yeah, can I go back and look at it first? It's going to be hard for me to comment because I wasn't happy with the last part of the game where we gave up 2-3 opportunities. So I pretty well slammed the lid down on the computer when it was like 4-5-2 and said, so if he's in that part of it, I probably missed it.
Dylan and Zach have been line mates for a couple of years here and have had a lot of success. Was it important to just kind of give them a break from each other because they've both been fighting it?
I've had good conversations with both players. And, I think anytime you're in a little bit of struggle, you welcome something that's a little bit new. So I think in both their cases, it's an opportunity to, get on the board in a different way. Sometimes you can put somebody back together, and sometimes it continues to work. A lot of times the league, and I've told you this, is about two players always playing together, and that you always kind of switching one guy around. So we've got a lot of different forwards, and I think it's an opportunity to look at different guys playing with different personnel. I'd like to see our 5-on-5 chances go up in a whole. Like, I haven't really been happy with that number except for, maybe the LA game, the Florida game when we first played them back here. But recently the 5-on-5 in-zone chances haven't been that good. So maybe there's something there we can find.
The 2 injuries, Jack, was like an Achilles and your leg and everything. Do you think he's still working to maybe get up as far as speed-wise, get his skating back up to where it was before with those serious injuries, or do you think it's been fine?
Paul, I wasn't around to judge it pre. I'm just judging it now. So it's a possibility. I think that's a pretty serious injury. I know that, any football player or hockey player that goes through that's a tough recovery. I've, had a few guys in the past from, I think Gostad had one when I was coaching, and Palmanville had one, and that's a long road to recovery. So it is a possibility.
With Owen and Bo, they've kind of had a roller coaster of a season. It seems like some games they look really well, look like they're playing really well, and some games haven't been so good. How do you find that consistency with them? Obviously, they have enormous potential together.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are tied in. Sometimes it's the line you're out there with. Sometimes it has nothing to do with that pair. Sometimes it's, what are you giving up, and what is that pair facing? So some of their problems haven't been forward related. Some of them have been, decision making. I thought their problems last game were I put the responsibility on our forwards. Thanks.